ladies and gentlemen, no, do not adjust your set. It, it's Hitman Cos, man. What a show! What a show! What a show! Oh man, this is the official review for Crown Jewel 2021, and of course, I'm not alone in this endeavor. Welcome to co-host as always. The other contracts, the humble man Gary. Gary, welcome to the contracts.
Yo, my man Raheem Hitman Cause, what's going on? What's good? What's good? Crown Jewel was a great show.
Honestly, I think this had to be the best one yet.
Yeah, there's no argument with that.
Mm, Alright. Well, le- let's let's stop wasting time. Let's get down to it.
Sir, let's do it.
Alright. Well, in the pre-show, we saw the Usos take on the Hurt Business. Now, honestly, this is definitely a match people have been wanting for a while, but with Roman Reigns and Bobby Lashley included, but this is still good, Um, some good action, between both sides, but in the end, the Usos clutched it out for the win.
Yes, sir. It's a great match. Love all four. Love the Usos, and I love Shelton Benjamin. I love Cedric Alexander, but my boys, the Usos, took it over my boys Shelton Benjamin and my boy Cedric Alexander.
Yep.
Yeah, man. It was really great.
Yep. And moving on to start the show, this definitely caught me by surprise. Edge versus Seth Rollins, Hell in a Cell.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yes, sir. That was one of the best matches. All three of their matches was really great, and I was there. I was there in person to witness one of their matches, which was their second one. But all three matches was extremely great. No doubt about that. There's no debate there.
Where and there's no better way to finish off a feud than with a Hell in a Cell match, and these guys delivered greatly.
Most definitely, they did.
Yep, freaking yeah. And I definitely enjoyed both of their both of the lengths they went to, like as far as Edge using that part of the chair that he used for the crossface, and then even using a wrench.
Right.
To Seth Rollins wrapping a chain around his around his boot.
Exactly.
But
that was crazy.
Yep. I also like the spot where freaking Seth, where I thought Seth was gonna go for the Phoenix Splash, but then Edge got up, pushed him off of the top rope, then his face hit the cell, and then he went through a table.
Right, exactly. That shit right there was, oh my lord, real crazy. Yo, one of the best. Everything about that match is just great, especially the part you just said, my man.
Yep. But in the end, freaking Edge ended it the way it started, and that was with a curb stomp. But this time, Seth was on the receiving end to it, and he got it onto a steel chair. And 1, 2, 3, Edge won to end the feud.
Yes, sir. He did. That was crazy.
And with the lengths that Seth went just to get Edge's attention, I'm sure he's regretting it now.
That is correct. I would agree. I really would agree with that.
Yep. And up next, a bit of a match to cool things down a bit. We have Monsoor versus Mustafa Ali. Now, I like I said during the predictions, I kind of figured that Mansoor was going to be on the card, considering that he's from Saudi Arabia, and and leading up to the pay per view, it was only going to be the only question wondered was how was he going to be on the card, and here's how it was.
Exactly, man. That's a fact.
And to think freaking Monsoor wa- wanted to give this tag team thing a shot, trying to tag with Mustafa Ali. Ali wanted no part of it, but you know, but he eventually gave in. But they kept racking up loss after loss, and shit just wasn't working out.
Right, exactly. That was crazy. And I had a feeling someday that one of these good days coming up that it was gonna happen when they break up as a tag team.
Yep. And eventually Mustafa Ali just 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 turned on him, talked mad shit about him, and which led us to the match.
Yes, sir.
And they actually they put on a pretty good match. You know, Rick and Mons. I mean, we already know what Ali can do. Mansoor pulled out some pretty nice moves.
Exactly. He really did. That match right there was great too. Honestly speaking, it really was.
Yeah. Like, I enjoyed that springboard cutter he did onto Ali, and also his moonsault wasn't too bad either.
Right, that's true. His moonsault wasn't bad at all. It really wasn't.
I mean, don't get me wrong, it wasn't super crazy level or freaking or what's his face or Kurt Angle level, but it was still nice.
Right, it really was nice. It really was.
And then as expected, Mansoor won.
Yup, exactly. He really did win, and the match was great, and Mansoor deserved it. This is him like as a breakout singles competitor. He deserved to win. So this makes him keep going, keeps his momentum up.
Yeah, but once again, it has me thinking. It once again proves me right that at least for now, Mansoor is immune to the hometown curse. Because what normally happens when a wrestler is in their hometown is if they have a match in their hometown, they more often than not they lose. But Mansoor has never lost in Saudi Arabia.
That is correct. He's never lost in Saudi Arabia, and I agree with you saying with the hometown curse. Like, I see your point
Yep.
a lot.
And then, as we should have expected, uh, the Ali decided to be a sore loser, and he attacked Mansoor. Um, After the bell, started beating the crap out of him. But then what threw us off was the appearance of this dude in uh in all Indian garbs. His face was completely covered up. His identity was completely concealed. Like, we had no idea who he was. And honestly, I still don't know his name to this day. I apologize, but
No
because sure, even after he revealed himself, the crowd went wild, but we still had no idea who the guy was. The only thing I remember about him, at least according to the announcers, is that is that um is that what's his face? Is that he's some? I think he's a silver medal karate fighter.
Correct.
Yeah, yeah. And and this and this nigga Ali thought he was funny and tried to tried to fight him. Next thing you know, the dude kicks Ali like dumb fast.
Right, exactly. That was crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. But then he helps up Mansoor. They celebrate, and there it was.
Right.
Oh, now moving on, we have the the Raw Tag Titles up for grabs. RK Bro defending against AJ Styles and Omos. And and first off, I mean, normally we don't talk about entrances because mainly they don't. They're the same entrances that they always do. But this guy Riddle. First off, him and Orton came out to the stage, and then Riddle walk behind and left. and I was wondering what he was doing. And next thing you know, this guy comes out the side of the stage on a freaking llama. And I forgot the official name for it because they said the official name for it. It's a really long name. I don't know. Don't care. This dude came out on a freaking llama.
Right.
And
That's crazy.
and honestly, uh, I would say something like negative, but like this the kind of shit. This is the kind of shit that I expect from him.
Right. Yeah, that was crazy because he'd be hilarious. So yeah.
But anyways, down to the match. So some pretty good action back and forth. Um, almost looking as unstoppable as ever. There was a nice spot where Orton threw Styles into Almost to neutralize him for a sec, and then I think in like the closing moments of the match, Styles was setting Orton up for the phenomenal forearm, and it looked, and at first I thought he was gonna hit it, but like tried fate every time there's a good enough distance between target and opponent, it was enough for Orton to hit the RKO out of nowhere. He tagged in the Riddle, who hit the floating bro for them to retain the titles.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Hell yeah, it was a great match, most definitely too, my boy.
yeah, definitely. Some very fun, some very fine work between both teams. Now, honestly, this has me thinking that Styles and Omos are probably gonna take a step back and do some other shit, or Styles is gonna go after a singles title while having Omos watch his back while another team comes and steps up to RK Bro. More than likely, it's gonna be the Street Profits.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
Now, moving on, we have the finals of the Queen's Crown tournament. Let me once again reiterate: Doudrop should not be there.
Yep.
Shayna Baszler should have been in the finals. She should have been in the finals, and she should have been the Queen's Crown. Cause she is the Queen of Spades. She is a certified badass. A licensed ass kicker, man. The submission magician.
Right.
Excelling in joint manipulation. Freaking this was made for her. This would have been this was the perfect way to to further put her on the right track back to the badassery that she was up to in NXT. But no. So,
Right.
but but even with the circumstances that were, I have to admit, freaking Zelina and Doudrop put on a great match. For one thing, Zelina's definitely gotten a lot better than Ring. Like this match really showed how much she's been working on her craft.
That's correct. For real. Honestly speaking, I wasn't expecting Doudrop to be in. It was kind of too soon for her anyway. But I mean, just pushing her as a singles competitor, I could see why. But I was expecting Shayna to go over.
Yep.
So that way it would have been Shayna and Zelina. It probably would have been a much better match, honestly speaking.
Yeah, but and as I give praise to Zelina, she thank God, thank the Lord, she went on to win the match, hitting a very good looking code red on Doudrop to get the pinfall victory, and she proved to me, like I said on the predictions, that just cause you put on the you put on the stuff. You hold the prize, you touch the prize before you win it. You don't jinx yourself, cause Corbin did it 2 years ago, putting on the mantle, wearing the crown, holding the scepter, cutting promos on the throne, and he still won the King of the Ring tournament. And Zelina, she put the mantle on, she put the crown on, she was sitting in the throne, and lo and behold, she did not jinx herself. She won the match.
Right, exactly. Zelina, she deserved it. Honestly speaking, she deserved it. Zelina Vega deserved to win. She's a great competitor. It's about time that they gave her a singles push competitor, especially. Hopefully they give her the belt because it's about time. She was released and came back. Like, yo, it's time.
Yeah. And it's funny you mention that, because when she came back at first, she kept losing and losing, and like people were clamoring for her to be given a chance and shit, and saying that she wasn't being used properly. But look at her now.
Exactly. Look at Zelina now. She deserved it. She really did. She really does. She really does deserve it.
Yep. See, and
Queen of the Ring.
Yep. See, in a case like this, it just shows as wrestling fans we need to be patient. Just give it a while, be patient, and things might turn around in our favor.
Like, that is correct, my boy. Yes, sir. Yup.
Yep. So yeah, salute to once again, congratulations to Zelina Vega. Very, very proud of her. Now moving on to what's become a very personal match. Brock Lesnar. Excuse me, Goldberg versus Bobby Lashley. No holds barred.
Yep, falls count anywhere, no holds barred.
Pretty much the same thing.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, and of course, this all started back at the Rumble Rumble, right?
Oh,
No.
Started back. No, it started back between
No,
night after Money in the Bank.
No. Between both. No. When it got serious.
With Goldberg and Bobby Lashley?
Yeah.
SummerSlam. That's what you're thinking.
Oh, yeah.
You know what you're confusing it with? You're confusing it with when Goldberg fought Drew McIntyre at Royal Rumble. That's what it was.
Sorry about that, folks. So, yeah.
It's all good, my
freaking. Boy. And, Goldberg came up short against Bobby Lashley for the WWE title. But then Bobby decided to add on to the punishment, to which then Goldberg's son stepped in and got a hold of Lashley, but then he got put in a hurt lock. And then from that moment on until the match, freaking Lashley and MVP was swearing up and down that they had no idea that was his son.
Right. Exactly, and that was crazy.
And part of me would think, because Lashley has kids of his own, that had he seen Goldberg's son, he wouldn't have done that. At least I give him the benefit of the doubt. But right. Goldberg being a father, that's his son. Again, we understand where he's coming from.
Right.
And I'll tell you what, man. Getting into the match, this dude Goldberg surprised me.
Right. Because
if you guys seen Goldberg's matches, I'd say maybe as soon as he came to WWE during his first run.
Right.
Freaking he had an extremely limited moveset, and plus he had very bad stamina. Like he'd be blowing up like maybe less than 5 minutes into the match. But nah, in this match, not only did he hold his own, he dished out a few moves that we hadn't seen before. I definitely enjoyed him spearing Lashley through the barricade and over off the stage.
Right.
But and obviously he's definitely gotten his stamina up, so that definitely helped drag the match out. And to my shock, Goldberg won.
Right. Same here.
So now, so thus by doing that, Goldberg has exacted his revenge against Lashley.
Exactly.
Now where does this leave them both? Yeah, we'll find out next. We'll find out on Raw.
Right. We shall find out on Raw. We shall.
And
sorry to stop you, my boy. The match was extremely great, though. It really was. Honestly speaking, you know what I was saying to myself too? I never told you. This is probably one of the longest matches that since Goldberg has been back. Goldberg has like wrestled for like somewhat of a minute, because as you know, whenever he comes back, his matches are only like how much minutes or seconds?
Honestly, like 2 minutes max.
Exactly. So, honestly speaking, bro, this would probably have to be like one of his longest matches ever. Probably one of his longest matches since like his comeback to WWE, honestly speaking.
Yeah, and on a side note, when it comes with Lashley, you can't talk about Lashley without talking about MVP. He put a pretty gruesome picture of his knee.
Oh yeah, I saw his Instagram. I really did. It looks I don't know.
But I think he said that there's some fluid in it, so they're probably just gonna drain the fluid and then hopefully the healing process can continue.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
So yeah. And I'll tell you what, Goldberg. Another thing. One last thing about Goldberg, he definitely improved on that crappy pull last year.
Yeah, most definitely, he did.
I'd like to think that he stopped banging his head against the door, because, sure, he can get away with that when he was younger, but he can't do that shit now. Because if you remember one time on Raw when he did that, he gave himself a concussion, and so and because of the concussion, he ended up forgetting some of the stuff that he was supposed to say.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. That is correct.
But definitely Goldberg redeemed himself from last year's crown jewel. This match was so much better. Salute to him. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Exactly. That is a fact.
Alright. Now moving on we have the King of the Ring finals, where we have Finn Balor taking on Xavier Woods. Man, if this match did not prove how underrated Xavier Woods is as a wrestler, I don't know what would. Because he showed out this match. Big time.
Oh, hell yeah. He really did. He really did.
Yeah.
That was unexpected. Honestly, I really thought Balor was going to win, seeing as how he's known as the Prince way back then until now, and they're saying from Prince to King. That's what I thought. I thought either him or Woods would take it, because Woods are giving a push and Balor is already at the top, so Woods. But like I said, from Balor's Prince persona to me and all that, that's why I thought they was going to give it to him.
Yeah, I feel you, but I knew. I just knew in my heart of hearts that it was Xavier Woods' time to shine, and he showed everyone exactly what he can do and what he's capable of, and how Finn even hit him with the shotgun drop kick and everything, but Xavier Woods kept fighting and kept fighting. eventually got that springboard elbow drop out to seal the deal and claim the crown for himself to finally fulfill his lifelong dream of King of the Ring. All hail King Xavier.
Most definitely, all hail King Xavier. He really deserves it for real. He really does.
Yep. And you know, coming from a guy who's followed him ever since he was Consequences Creed in TNA, you know, this makes it even more sweeter.
Right.
Moving on, it's time for the WWE Championship, where we have Big E defending against Drew McIntyre. Man, oh man. This match definitely showed beyond a shadow of a doubt that Big E is ready for main event status, and he's ready for the big time.
Yes, sir. That is a fact. My boy Big E is ready. I love both my boy Big E and my boy Drew McIntyre, but they made my boy Big E retain it. I love them both. My boy Big E's ready, as a champion. It's about time, and he deserved it for real. My boy Drew deserved it too, of course. Love Drew. I love my boy Big E, but listen, it's my boy Big E time. It's been his time since he's been, and I've been a fan of his since his Dolph Ziggler days, and I met this man twice. I met him, the second time I met him was last month. First time I met him was 3 years ago, and I told him, and I got to post this too. I was like, when I met him, I was like, I hope you're cashing your Money in the Bank successfully. I've been a fan of yours since I told him again. I've been a fan of yours since your Dolph Ziggler days, and I hope you're cashing your Money in the Bank briefcase successfully. He's like, yes, thank you, hell yeah. Told him I love him. And hell yeah, look what happened. And now he's at the top defending it great. He deserved to be WWE champion.
And I think you giving him those words personally is what elevated him to the top.
Oh yeah.
The words of the humble man is what is the true driving force behind Big E's ascension to the top.
Yes, sir. Hell yeah, good way to put it, my man, Cos Payton.
Yeah, and this match was so much more. This was main event of a pay-per-view caliber of a match. That's how good it was. Like the levels that Big E has climbed up to, and the levels that Drew McIntyre climbed up to, is just so amazing, and a credit to how good these guys are to put on such an amazing match.
Right.
I mean, I liked when freaking at first it looked like because Drew hit the Claymore, and everybody thought it was over. So, and I was hoping it wasn't over. And Big E kicked out. Then at one point, Drew was about to steal Big E's finisher and hit the big ending, but freaking Big E got out of it. Then he actually tried to hit the Claymore, but he got caught with the Future Shock DDT, man. Like the back and forth action, man, it was crazy.
That's a fact. It really was crazy.
But in the end, it took two big endings, but Big E got the job done. He is still WWE champion, and Drew will be headed to SmackDown without a title.
Right, exactly. Now he talks about if he's gonna go for the Universal belt, so we'll see what happens. I mean, I hope my boy Drew gets in the back of the title picture once he goes to SmackDown. I
mean, he probably is, because at this point, I really can't think of any face main eventers at the moment besides Drew McIntyre that's on SmackDown right now.
Right.
And Brock doesn't count because he's a free agent.
Right, exactly.
And moving on, we have our second women's match of the night. Becky Lynch defending the SmackDown Women's Championship against Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks. Now, now, before I finish, before I continue, pretty much all the women that competed in matches tonight were all pretty much dressed the same, where they had to wear bodysuits, but at the same time, the shirts they were wearing were like shirts that promoted themselves. But they had to wear that because because of what's his face, because of Saudi Arabia's laws with women, where they have to cover up their bodies completely.
Right, that's correct.
And I understand that, but freaking not this crown jewel. But the last time they were in Saudi Arabia, it was blazing hot there.
Yeah, it was.
Like,
it probably was at this one too.
Cause nah, it wasn't. Cause if it was, then it would have showed. But last time they were there, I think it was like 105 degrees. Like, it was so hot that I remember when Finn Balor faced Andrade,
right,
and he was the demon, his paint almost immediately came off.
Right, that's a fact.
Because of the heat.
That's a fact, you're right.
But anyway, before I get even more off topic, this match was absolutely great.
Yeah, it really
All three women showed what they got. I especially enjoyed the spot where Becky Lynch and Sasha Banks had their submission finishes on Bianca Belair.
Right.
And at first they had their finishes on, but then they stopped because they immediately realized that if Bianca were to tap, the match would end up in a draw because the ref wouldn't know who she tapped out to.
Right, exactly.
Kind of like I forgot what match it was, but Chris Jericho had the Walls of Jericho locked in on Steve Austin, whereas Benoit had the crossface locked in on him, and then what's his face, and then Austin tapped.
Right.
But because it was two submissions, ref couldn't call it.
Right, exactly.
Anyways, another great spot, freaking, was Bianca Belair once again showing why she is the strongest. Freaking deadlifting Sasha Banks up, and then at first she had her up with two hands, but then she had her up with one hand.
Right.
Like, this woman's strength is unmatched.
Right.
Like, my God, yo. like it's so crazy.
Right, exactly.
And then what's his face? Then a very funny spot happened, and Humble Man knows which one I'm talking about, where freaking both Sasha and Bianca was holding Becky up,
Oh yeah.
and Becky was trying to talk her way out of it.
Right.
Like, that shit was funny, yo.
That was hilarious. And they were trying to talk. Yeah, that shit was funny.
Like, I could have let you, like, hey, how's it go? How about y'all let me down or something, man? Huh?
Right.
That was so hilarious, yo.
Yeah, it really was.
Then Sasha got her tribute on to Eddie Guerrero, hitting the Three Amigos.
Yeah.
No offense to her. Actually, no, they didn't take all due offense because I really don't care. I'm glad that somebody prevented her from doing a frog splash, because her frog splash is shit. I know she does it as a tribute to Eddie Guerrero, and I can appreciate that. But her frog splash is shit. Like, her frog splash is just as bad. Is just as bad as her cousin Snoop Dogg's splash was.
Exactly.
Like there's so many other people that do the frog splash so much better. It's not even funny.
I got you perfectly.
And anyways, freaking move going down the line, the closing moments of the match. Freaking actually at one point Becky had the disarmer locked in on both Sasha and Bianca. And freaking I think Bianca had her hand on Sasha's hand and was telling her don't tap.
Yeah, that's I believe so.
Then Bianca once again showing off her strength, lifted the both of them up. Sasha rolled off, but then she hit Becky with the KOD, and then just as she was about to go for the pin, Sasha was trying to throw her out the ring, but then Bianca countered, threw her out the ring. Then she tried to go for the pin. Sasha grabbed her out the ring. Then Sasha ran in, tried to go for the pinfall, but Becky put her in an inside cradle. And then while she had her inside cradle, she had her hand on the ropes. But because it was a triple threat match, technically she wasn't cheating, so she just barely managed to escape with the SmackDown Women's title.
That's a fact. It really was, and the match was great too. Honestly speaking, it really was.
Yeah. But you and I both know, had it not been for that, Bianca would have had that match in hand.
Oh yeah, that's a fact, man. Bianca really would have had a match in hand.
Yep. But still, good showing between the three of them. Bianca is definitely still gonna go after her because, despite being SmackDown Women's Champion, Becky Lynch is going to Raw, and so is Bianca Belair. So you best believe that Bianca's still going to be gunning for her.
Exactly, that's a fact. That is right.
Now, moving on to the main event. Universal title action. Roman Reigns defending against Brock Lesnar. Now, the biggest question going into this match was where was Paul's loyalty? Was he sticking firmly behind the tribal chief, or was he still committed to Brock Lesnar? And this match showed that he still hasn't made up his mind. He hasn't.
Really? Yeah, exactly.
Because first off, this match was 100 miles an hour from the opening bell. You know, Roman was getting his shots in, serving up Brock a 2-piece with a biscuit and fries and a soda. But at the same time, Brock was taking him through a trip to Suplex City.
Right.
And both of them got their finishes off pretty quickly. Roman got a spear off first, but Brock kicked out. Right. Then Brock started to take over, hit an F5. But Roman kicked out again.
That's right. That's really right.
And then somewhere around there, I think Roman hit a second spear. I think. Did he?
Yeah, he did.
But Brock kicked out again. Then Brock hit an F5, but the F5 knocked out the ref. But and then here's the interesting part: while the ref was knocked out. And this is what I mean when it came to Paul not showing who he's loyal to. He had the Universal title in hand, threw it in the ring, and said, "You know what to do."
Exactly.
But the question is, who was he talking to?
Right.
And Brock had a smile on his face because he thought that he was helping him out. Roman grabbed it because he thought he was helping him out.
Right.
Then they started getting into a tug of war. Then Brock had his hands on it, but the fucking Usos had to interfere once again.
And acknowledge the Usos.
Fuck the Usos.
Nah, man. The Usos and
Fuck
Roman
the
Reigns
Usos. Fuck them. Fuck them.
I love Roman
Fuck
Reigns.
'em.
I love Roman Reigns, and I love Roman Reigns, and I love Brock Lesnar. And I love the Usos, but my boy Roman Reigns and my boys the Usos, they fucked up Brock Lesnar. So fuck Brock Lesnar right now. Others gotta get a chance to develop.
Well, then fuck Roman and fuck the bloodline. Then others gotta get a shot too. Then.
We could debate about this all day long, bro. Other wrestling fans could interject into this shit too, but just me and you, man. We diehard wrestling fans, so we could do without them. You feel me?
Well, and the Usos came, interfered, and of course, since the ref was still knocked out, they couldn't. Roman couldn't get disqualified. They hit what's his face? They hit Brock with a super kick, and then Roman hit him with the title, speared him, 1, 2, 3.
Sure.
And once again, Roman, with the help of the Usos, escapes with this, just barely escapes with this title. Oh, this ending pissed me off so much. I turned off the event.
Yeah, I'll tell you. Yeah, he really did. He really did.
Because
I mean, I love them both. Don't get me wrong. And Brock was in an interview and said he wants to see others in the title picture. I love them both. Get them wrong. This is a whole new Roman Reigns, and I'd have to say this whole match right here was probably better than like all the other matches, or one of the best matches. Because as you see before, it was always be Brock getting the upper hand, and later on Roman getting the upper hand, and always who's dominating first, and later on dominating. Let one dominate and the other dominate, but it can't be one dominating the whole time and later on. Like this whole match right here, seen that one person's dominating, the other person's dominating. I mean, it was this match right here will probably have to be one of their best ones. It was I would guarantee, I would say that this match was better than their WrestleMania 34 match, and better than their SummerSlam 2018 matches. Those matches were in the same year, and it would probably have to be better than it probably has to be up there with their probably Crown Jewel match from 3 years ago. But this match, I have to say which one was better. Maybe this one right here, but I mean, I think this one right here, I have to say.
I mean, for me, I honestly feel that this was their best match ever.
Can't argue with that.
Despite how it ended, but still, their best showing yet.
Right. A whole new Roman Reigns, man. Tribal chief, head of the table. Acknowledge him. Acknowledge me.
And this was and honestly, it was. I guess you could say it was a new Brock Lesnar, just because this time he was face instead of heel in this encounter, and he was showing, and he definitely looked like he was having more fun in the match.
Bro, this is the new Lesnar.
And I can definitely say, mainly because of how the match ended, this is not over.
Yeah, it's not over. And also another thing is too, one of my friends, she just hit me. I didn't even know, because it said Brock is supposed to be on hiatus after this, but it's being said, if WWE posted on the Twitter page saying that he's gonna be on SmackDown tomorrow. I never thought it was gonna happen.
Yep, and it's even quoted that on WWE's page that Brock said, and I quote, "The moment I arrive at SmackDown, I will beat Roman Reigns senseless." Like I said before, Brock was definitely gonna be back, and he clearly isn't gonna forget this, and understandably he's pissed. And for me, if I was in the match and I was so close to winning, and for that to happen to me, I would have been pissed off too.
I feel you perfectly. I would have been pissed as well.
But all in all, this whole event This has to be by far the best Saudi Arabia event WWE has done. Period.
Right.
The absolute best.
Right. Right. I have to say, yeah, probably one of the best. Oh hell yeah. Who wouldn't agree? Like probably one of the best pay-per-views right there. Hell yeah. If anybody don't agree, I don't know what to tell y'all. And if anybody don't agree about this whole new Roman Reigns and don't acknowledge him and say he's not one of the best right now, especially his current run at WWE, I don't know what in the fuck are y'all watching. And my man Cause Payton, like I tell you, man, like yo, acknowledge my boy Roman Reigns. Acknowledge him.
Fuck that. I'm not acknowledging until he beats him straight up.
I mean, there more than likely is probably going to be a rematch, but I mean, see what happens, man. More than likely there will be a rematch. There will be a rematch, more than likely.
Yeah. Yep. And along with this being the best Saudi Arabia pay-per-view that they've had, this is the best crown jewel that they've had yet as well. And I think they've had 3 crown jewels, right?
3 crown jewels. Was it 3 crown jewels? Hold on, let me count. Oh, as a matter of fact, yes, it has to be. This more than likely probably has to be the 4th one. Because their first Saudi Arabia pay-per-view was Greatest Royal Rumble. But since we're talking about crown jewels, yeah, there's a crown jewel in 2018, then 19 and 20. This is their 4th one.
No. I thought it was a 3rd one.
Nah, they had one in. They had a crown jewel in the fall of 2018. Then they had a crown jewel in the spring heading into summer 2019. Then they had a crown jewel February 2020, and now this is their 4th one.
Wait, February 2020? Are you sure?
Yeah, that was when Brock Lesnar squashed Ricochet, and that was when.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
My bad.
Nah, you good, bro.
Actually, you know, I really don't want to go off topic, but that was really something. The way Ricochet got squashed like that.
Yeah, that was crazy. Yeah, that.
Look here, I love Ricochet, but damn.
Word, man.
That didn't have to happen.
That's a fact.
But I mean, don't get me wrong. I still want Brock to win, but that didn't have to go down the way it did.
Right, that's a fact, and I agree.
But to be fair, I don't think Brock saw much in him, which is why he didn't want to go as hard as he did here.
Right.
But you know, it is what it is. You know, we've come to the end of this episode of the Contracts. I definitely want to thank each and every one of y'all for coming through, chilling with us. I definitely want to thank the humble man for coming here, kicking his wrestling knowledge with me.
Of course, my man Cause Painting, you already know, my nigga, you already know. Always gonna be kicking the wrestling knowledge, always, and hell yeah. And check out our joint on YouTube, man. Most def, do that.
Yep. And until next time, it's the Hitman and humble man by way of Struggle Vision Productions. We out. Peace.
Yes, sir. Peace. We out of here.